kiwibots, as our industry leaders of last mile delivery robot companies, could you share the challenge you face?
Yeah, of course. So we have been working in the last mile robotic field the last 5 years. We installed the first robotic system in a college campus back in 2017 at UC Berkeley in California. And in order to deploy a robotic system, you have to overcome different technology layers. So the first one, first of all, the robot must understand the world. Yes. So we incorporate a vision system like cameras and stereo camera. We also have a detection that such as LiDAR and a distance sensor. The other layer that is very important is manufacturing, yes, and with the supply chain crisis and now with the demand that we are having from our customers to build robots. So right now we are building 100 robots per month. We are planning to scale it up to 1,000 robots per quarter by next year. And I think that finally is the geographic footprint. So as I mentioned at the beginning, right now we are across 20 cities in 25 college campuses in the US with more than 450 robots. Next quarter, we're going to launch a new wave of deployments, and by the end of the year, we're going to have more than 60 campuses across 50 cities. So that's a big responsibility on our shoulders, but that also strengthens our position as market leaders.
So next, I think we're going to spend most of time to talk about the future, right? So let me ask a question to Soros. So Dexo, you have operation over 50 countries,
Sure.
and could you tell us, globally how you guys are doing, but also especially North America, are you a leader of adopting those technologies? And if so, could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. Thank you. I would say undoubtedly we're the leader when it comes to going ahead and adopting technology, because for us, it's we look at it as something that's imperative for our success. He just talked about as to how the employee was demanding they're not going to work without a robot. And the reality is that people who are entering this industry, they have much higher expectations than people who've been in the business 20, 30 years. And they expect that this business is supposed to be fun, supposed to be where they can truly display and show their customer skills instead of carrying dishes and walking up and down 6 miles, right? Not that that'll ever be completely eliminated, but we owe it to our employees to be able to do some of that. And so that's one aspect of it. But again, let me be absolutely clear. This is not about taking jobs away, right? I'll be very happy when we increase our workforce by even another 50%, and because we've created jobs and created careers for our people. And I also look at it very importantly. We don't create jobs, we create career paths for our people. We have so many examples of people who started with us as dishwashers, and now they're vice presidents and senior vice presidents within the company. And we want more of those stories. And if we can go ahead and change the trajectory of those stories by using robots, even better for us. So I think we're very, very early in the adoption stage right now. The industry is very early, and you're seeing some key leaders in this. And this business is going to evolve, and robotics and AI is going to help us evolve at a much quicker pace.
Oh, thank you. That's awesome. Yep. Okay, so let me ask a question to Philip. So,
Of course.
how do you see the future?
Well, in general, future. So that's a word that comes with a lot of anxiety. sometimes. And I can understand why so many people could be afraid of it when they see robots like the ones in the movies like Terminator, and that they take over humanity and jobs. But let me present to you a much more optimistic perspective. So it's a perspective of a world where we have robots and high technology working beside humans. So there is this concept named solar punk, yes, that it was a movement started recently out of Silicon Valley. It basically presents a vision of a world where we have robots, yes, high technology, green cities, humans working at the same time. I know that it could sound utopic, but at the speed of how technology is moving, and also the need for the world for greener technologies, I'm very confident that that's going to happen. So our mission at kiwibot, beyond like building food delivery robots, is to show to the world that robots are good for us, that we can live with robots, that is not going to be like the Terminator movie, that it's going to create that utopic world. And that's why we have the responsibility. When I mentioned that we're going to be next quarter across 50 cities, including Dubai, where we're going to deploy next month, we have the responsibility, we have a big responsibility, and that's why we're creating a robot that is respectful in terms of size on the sidewalk. We have created several partnerships with cities. So in the cities that we operate, we share sidewalk data so that the departments of transportation, they can fix the sidewalk, they can build better sidewalks, that we can also give them alerts if we recognize that there is a pedestrian crossing that is dangerous for a human. If it's dangerous for a robot, it could be dangerous for a human. So that's the future in general, yes. And in terms of food, what I believe is that we're going to have food and delivery, we're going to have a multimodal world. So we're going to have ground machines like the kiwibot, but we're going to have also flying drones. We're going to also have last 100 feet robots, like the Bear Robotics lift robot. We're going to have humans in scooters, humans in bikes, self-driving cars, and we're going to empower and augment the human capabilities, and we're going to have cities that are going to be more robust from a logistic standpoint. And we have already made it in the past. I always give this example of the ATM machines. So when the ATM machines were introduced, about 50% of the tellers lose their job that year. And you can check the news. There were riots in New York when the ATM machines were introduced to the market. But a couple of years later, the banks were able to basically create more offices, expand their businesses, and they actually hired more people. So I believe when Saraj mentions that they're going to basically hire more people, that have happened in the past, and that's the future that I imagine in terms of food and also in general for humans.
Oh, sounds good. Thank you.